So boys and girls, today we are going to be taking a moment to do some abstract landscapes. And if you look at this, this is a real picture of a landscape. And I want you to notice something. There's always something that we call foreground, middle ground, and background. The foreground is what we see in the very front. So that would include this part and probably these trees right here. The middle ground is going to be what's about like halfway back. Like if you were yelling that in the middle ground, someone could probably still hear you. And then the background is all this stuff that's way in the back, the sky and that mountain range right there, where if you were screaming, you could scream all day long and no one's going to hear you. When we look at landscapes, there's a lot of ones that we can tell. So example, what is in the foreground of this one? If you said a rock, you are absolutely right. Then we've got this middle ground here with all the purples, and then we have our background. Here we have this field here in this house that's kind of in the foreground. This is in the hills are in the middle ground, and then that sky is in the way back. Here, foreground, middle ground, background. Now, I don't know if any of you noticed this, but it's kind of interesting that it works its way up the painting. The background is always going to be in the highest part of the painting. The foreground, what's in front, will always be at the bottom of the painting. If you look at this one, the rock is to the front, it's going to be in the bottom. There's no way that if the rock was in the foreground that you would find it back here. Back here is where the stuff goes that looks far away. It's just amazing how it works like that. Now, we could spend a lot of time making landscape paintings today, but what we're going to do is do something very simple. We're going to be making it abstract. And the way that you do an abstract painting is to look at it not so much as all these little details, but instead to see it as shapes. So I'm going to take this tiny little piece of paper here, and I'm just going to look. I've got a yellow rectangle here. I've got this kind of zigzag shape here of green. I've got this shape here that's kind of a bluey color. And then I have this shape up here that's kind of a light blue. Now I'm actually going to start at the top. You start with what's in the background and you work your way towards the foreground. So I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to take some blue, and right now I don't have any light blue mixed, but that's not a problem for me. I'm just going to go here and I'm just going to go back and forth, and I'm going to do my blue. And again, I'm just kind of thinking of it as a shape. I'm picking up a little bit of white here. And I'm doing my sky. I don't need to do anything more than that. Once I have that done, I'm going to rinse this out in the water well, and I'm going to dry it off on my rag. I don't want to take a drippy brush back into the paint. Okay, so now I have to go onto my next shape. To me, this kind of looks a little purple, a little blue. So I'm just going to start with some purple, and you're going to think I've gone crazy, but I'm going to see this as a shape that's going straight on the top and then going down. Here I'm noticing that this is coming down like that, does a little bumpty, and we're done. So now I'm going to go back over that with some more purple, and I'm just following the shape. It doesn't have to be exact at all. Remember, this is abstract. Okay. I'm actually going to rinse out my brush, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of blue to mix in with this. Now notice I'm not mixing it in the cup. I'm letting it mix on the plate. Okay. Now I've got that. So now comes my green layer. I'm going to come here with a little green, and I notice that zigzag. So I'm going to go zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. And I'm having that kind of like a shape like this. And now I'm almost to the end where I have my foreground, the thing that's at the very, very front. So I'm going to pick up this yellow. I'm going to come here. And I now have an abstract landscape.